Hello, Manny. How are you, man?
I am wonderfully blessed, Mr. James, and a big, big, big congrats on The Home, an emotionally charged psychological thriller that speaks volumes on aging and family trauma. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. That means so much. Thank you, Manny.
Oh, well, yeah, you made me think in the beginning and then scared the crap out of me. I was like this in the beginning and then like this at the end. I mean, what a payoff.
Right. Yeah. We worked very hard on paying it off well. Yeah, in that last 25 minutes.
Now, first things first,
Yeah.
describe to our viewers what The Home is all about in your own words.
The Home is about a young man who has some troubles. He's a graffiti artist. He breaks some laws. And instead of doing jail time, he's given community service at a elderly care facility where he has to be the on-site super and take care of some of the residents, clean up after them at a very large facility. So he reluctantly takes the job, but he'd rather do that than go to jail. So he arrives at this place and quickly starts to realize that something strange is happening. And he goes down a very dark journey to figure out what's happening to the people there and what's happening to himself. And it gets
And
quite
where
dark.
were with him on his dark journey. But Mr. James, you gave us a successful The Purge series. What got you interested in giving us The Home? What made you want to co-write and direct it? Give us a genesis.
Yeah, it was after the home, after the Purge, I don't consider the Purge to be straight horror. I think
Yeah,
it's more action horror.
yeah.
It's more like Escape from New York and movies like that I grew up on. So I always wanted to do something straight horror, some psychological horror that I grew up on in the 70s and Rosemary's Baby and movies like The Tenant. So it was more of my attempt to say, let's do something different. Let's do something truly horror, straight ahead. And out of that, I was talking to my buddy Adam, who's a fellow Staten Island. He's one of my best friends. He's a writer. And it was during COVID, and elder care facilities were in the news a lot because
Yeah.
of what was happening in New York, and there was a lot of people dying in elder care facilities and how it was mishandled by the government. And it was very sad, very tragic. I'm a very neurotic guy. My buddy is too, Adam, very neurotic. We were very scared early on about the pandemic. So we were discussing mortality quite a lot and what that meant. I also started to do yoga at the time because I'm quite unhealthy. And my wife said, do yoga. You have time now. So I started doing yoga on YouTube, and my YouTube feed became inundated. The algorithm started feeding me videos about longevity. And I saw
Yeah.
that there was this obsession, it seemed, in America or maybe the world with extending life and eating healthy and supplements and how one might become, live to 110, 120. And all these billionaires were speaking about longevity. Anyway, I think the three thoughts, the elder care facilities were on our minds, uh, the longevities things we were seeing, Adam and I thinking about mortality and, the nursing home is the last, the elder care facility is the last stop in life, potentially. It all became the home and Max's journey.
Wow. Now, helping you realize this vision, your vision, is the fantastic Pete Davidson as a troubled Max.
Yeah.
What made you zero in on him? It's fantastic in here.
Oh, great. I'm so happy you liked him. He's amazing. I think he's amazing in the film. So we grew up. So Pete, I knew Pete before Pete was a celebrity. He grew up the street from me here on Staten Island, and it's a small community. And he was a busboy at a local hangout, this Nucci's Italian restaurant. And I had just made The Purge, and he came over to me. He's like, "I heard that you wrote The Purge. I'm a big fan. I'm a young actor, comedian." And we kind of just hit it off. It was just two like minds, and started talking. So I knew pre-celebrity Pete. He wasn't Pete Davidson that everyone knew, and I knew he was a very soulful man, a serious man, funny too,
Yeah.
but he was definitely not the persona I think that most of the world got to see after he was on
SNL.
SNL. Yeah. So when Adam and I were writing the script, we thought, Pete is a lot like Max. He did have some tragedy in his youth, like
Yeah.
Max. He uh he processes a lot of his grief and his life through his art,
Yeah.
and as does Max with his drawing. So we thought there was something similar. There was a mirror there that I thought Pete might relate to Max. So we gave him the script, and he was ready. He just dove right in. It was great. Yeah, we got
Great
very.
choice. Great choice. Now, in a superficial way, it's easy to identify this film as part of the elder horror or geriatric subgenre, if you may, but it's more than that, right? Although, like what I said, it speaks volumes on aging and psychosis. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I always I like to what Scorsese used to call smuggler cinema, smuggle socio-political ideas kind of into my writing. I tried doing The Purge, Here we were doing kind of a similar thing about how we treat our elderly in society, how any society treats the elderly. Foster care, psychosis is another thing we were making a comment on. Mental illness. How do we, how do we treat mental illness, and are we handling that appropriately in the medical society, I should say, business? And finally, I was trying to weave in, and I hope it's done in a subtle way because I never want to preach, is some commentary on climate change. The movie became a metaphor to me of generational effects on Earth, on what the boomer generation has done to the planet and kind of raped it of its resources. And that was mirrored in what, I don't want to give too much away of the film, on what some people in the movie are doing to the young people in the movie, of raping them of their resources. I shouldn't use the word raping. I'll use a different word, taking something from them. Um, so there was a metaphor that I was playing with definitively about climate change. That was the first and foremost. But there was also commentary, like you said, elder care treatment, psychosis, mental health. So we were trying to sneak a lot of stuff in there.
I love how you brought that climate change thing in there, because I mean, it didn't. Now that you're saying it, it actually
Yeah.
makes sense. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Now,
thank you. No, thank you.
finally, Mr. James, the home is being released in theaters on July 25th. What do you hope for viewers to get after watching the film?
I hope that they are first and foremost thrilled. I hope that they're shocked by the twist in the third act. I think really worked very hard on that twist. I hope they don't see that coming. I think some people will, some people won't. And I hope that they go on this journey with Max, because I think where it ends, I think that they'll be both shell-shocked by how insane it gets. And I also think they'll be cheering. I hope that there's some cheering in the audience too. I think they'll hopefully really relate to Max's character, go on this journey, and come out of there with their eyes open, maybe thinking about some things like climate change and how we treat our elderly in life.
They'll all be like this too at the end.
Right. I like exactly. I'm like that till this. Exactly. Exactly.
A big, big, big congrats on your film. Again, everyone must enter the home.
Oh, Manny, thank you so much, man. Great.
Thank you,
Stuff.
Mr. James. Good luck on everything, okay?
Dude, take care.
All right.